Hello everybody, that's Free to Play Bust. We're about to run Expedition number 13 here. We got the 2 winner with the Elites deck. Not real stoked about that one, so hopefully we can be a little more successful with this this next run. Let's see what we get. I do like Tryndamere. This is a pretty reasonable set. I do like Bloodsworn Pledge. The thing with this is this is a forever plus 03, so it's pretty powerful. And these dudes are okay. The more I play them, the more I like them. That regenerability on such a big body is just pretty strong. It's just so hard to kind of tango with them in combat turn after turn. Over here, I'm not real excited about this Thresh stack. It's kind of leading into the ephemerals. If this was a stack with Hecarim, we might be more interested in it, but I'd rather have Thresh or like a control-y deck and not have this ephemeral stuff going on. And then over here, this leads into the elusives deck. It's a pretty good stack for elusives, but don't really want to be starting with Karma. Like if this was a Zed, this would clearly be the best pack here. Trying to think. That's with Piltover. I guess Yasuo is in Piltover, right? Let me go back and look real quick. Hang on. I'm not too keen on just oh, Yasuo is Ionia. Why does that have Piltover cards in it? It's gonna try to put me in Teemo. I'm not real keen on just trying to draft elusives every time. Like, we might want to end up doing this because I really need to kind of push for the 7 wins this run since we only got 2 in the last one. But this pile can be reasonable. I think this teams up with Fiora and Suit Up. It's not very... I haven't seen very many Tryndameres come about in draft. But let's do it. Let's just go ahead and take this Tryndamere pile to just not be drafting elusives every time. If you saw the last run, I guess we got 5 games in and played against elusives 3 times. So we'll at least try to keep that to a minimum for you all. I'm sure if you've been playing Constructed, you probably play against it about 25% of the time, and so we'll just run this Tryndamere set and see how it goes. And then these stacks are not what we were looking for. This is an okay set if Noxian does play well with the Freylord stuff. It's just we would rather this be Vladimir. We're really looking for the Vladimir cards. I don't think we can take this Garen pile. It's just that reinforcements is horrible here. Reinforcements is only good in elites, which, I mean, we could kind of look to go towards elites again. We're really looking for like a Fiora pile or an Ashe pile or an Articuno pile, whatever the Articuno is called in this game, and not really looking for this Garen stack. If that was Fiora, we'd be pretty okay with this. Let's see. I think what we'll end up doing is let's look at probably going Darius. This Zed stack's not going to work. We don't want to do any of this recall stuff with our Tryndamere set. When you're ending up in Freylord and Noxus, you are typically looking to get value out of the self-damage units, but then the Frostbites also play pretty well. You end up with like a lot of 1 health units, and so all of the Noxus combat tricks tend to boost attack, as to where if we're kind of also in Freylord, we should have access to Frostbites. And so I'm going to take this Darius pile and see if we can't kind of end up in the self-damage deck. It would be better if this was like Braum, but let's see. taking a look at these, I do like this pile. This Shield Breaker is extremely good top end. He's just very well statted and hard to deal with, and this has a 1-drop. The 1 and 2 drops are extremely important in this kind of deck, and so we have to kind of value them extremely highly. This pile I don't want. These are Braum cards. We don't have Braum. The Poro's okay. He's pretty reasonably statted, but it's just kind of a generic unit. When it comes to like 2-drops, I don't care that, say with like Trifari and Hopeful, we may or may not get the Noxus buff. If we do, it's great. If we don't, it's kind of whatever. But once we start moving into 3 and 4 drops, I really want my units to do something. Either be exceptionally statted, like the 5/4 Noxus card, or do stuff like, Vanguard Redeemer. I'm not real excited about 3/3 Overwhelms, because he's not statted that great, and then he doesn't really have any bonuses. And here, this pile's okay. I'm hoping I don't know how the synergies pull out, but if we kind of stay away from these Demacia cards, I'm hoping we just don't see any more of them. We're just going to take this pile with the 1-drop and the good unit. Okay, so that idea didn't happen. We aren't taking the Elites pile. We don't want... Vanguard Sergeant could play okay in this. We just definitely don't want reinforcements. I think I'm going to be looking at this Elixir of Iron and Omen Hawk. They both lend to aggressive decks extremely well. I do like Flash Freeze, but I don't like Shatter unless we're in like a dedicated Frostbite deck. So we're going to take the 2 1-drops here. Here we go. The aggression continues. Another 1-drop. And then the Grenadier is pretty good. He can be kind of scary because there's so many good 1-drops that you don't just care to trade away. There's the Omen Hawks, the Mentors, all of the Shadowlands dudes. He can be kind of clunky, and I have found that he plays a bit better as a blocker than an attacker, but this is still likely the pile we'll take. We would be happy with Stalking Wolves, but I'm really wanting to keep my curve down, and when it comes to taking a 1 and a 2 versus a 2 and a 6, I'm definitely wanting the 1 and 2. And these I don't really want. I don't think Nox and Guillotine is very good, and we already have 1 Shield Breaker. We're really wanting cheaper units. And let's see. This guy is pretty good top end, and Elixir of Wrath is good. This is a pretty reasonable pile. We aren't in the Yeti deck. They Who Endure can be okay in this. A lot of our units die, and he's pretty good top end, but our top end is still, it's pretty beefy. Like, if he's ever just like, a 4/4, then that's just awful compared to just playing, a Shield Breaker. And so, not particularly interested in the Yeti pile. And these are okay. I do really like Decisive Maneuver, especially in the decks like this, but I think it plays better in Spider. So you can see it's in the Spider pile. When you're kind of guaranteed to have a really wide board. Blade's Edge is okay. It's kind of growing on me, but I'm not super excited about it. So I'm going to take the cheap combat trick with the good top end. Then we can really kind of lay off the top end, given the opportunity we already have. This will be our 5th, big unit. And our top end is kind of beefy as is, if we're able to get in. Like Darius and Tryndamere should end the game if they ever get an attack in. Okay, so let's see. It's another reasonable stack. I don't want this. We don't want the Elnuck. I would be okay with a Starlight Seer. This is just kind of a reasonable dude. It's easy to... If you play 1 spell, you're getting pretty good value out of him. But I don't want these Elnucks. So we could be looking at Take Heart. We might be able to get some reasonable tricks with it. These Noxus dudes tend to be pretty beefy. We don't have like the 5/4 for 3 yet, but it's pretty easy for some of your units to be taking damage, and I want more of these 1 and 2 drops. I would like to have more of these Hopefuls. They can just be an extreme blowout a lot of games, but I'm trying to kind of stay away from these expensive guys. Let's see. this is kind of what we're looking for. I'm not sure how scary this Crimson Awakener is going to be, but we were looking for these. This is more of the this is a Vladimir style deck and not Darius, so we probably won't see a lot of things like this, but I was hoping we would kind of see a little bit of it because we were in Noxus. I don't want this. We don't have Draven, and I don't even really like Vision and Draven Jinx decks, but it's fun in Draven Jinx. Just if you have a wide board, we don't want two Reckoners. I'm just going to take this pile here. This Flash Freeze would be okay, but I definitely don't want Avalanche in this deck. We don't really have the beefy Noxus dudes to survive Avalanches. It's kind of scary to build towards anyways, but as you can see, if say like we had a 5/4 for 3 and then a Crimson Awakener, that stuff can all survive Avalanche. Okay. These are interesting sets. I think Kato the Arm is extremely good. It's just so much power out of a 5-drop, and he's along with Elixir of Wrath. It's a pretty strong pile. Battle Fury also extremely good, and if you haven't played Battle Fury, note that's permanent. It usually doesn't matter. Usually if you Battle Fury, you just win the game. And Stalking Wolf, pretty good. Gives us a way to interact. We really don't have any way to interact right now outside of just getting our units in combat. And I'm kind of leery of diving into this Reaver path. We don't have Vladimir. We really only have one way to get this Reaver online. This is the one I really like. I like the 2-drop and then the 6-drop. Or I guess the 2/4 is the 3-drop. The 2/4 is very good. But we're just going to take this Battle Fury pile. In here. I would be okay with Lonely Poros, but I don't want this Trapper. Not really what we're looking to do. Very strong pile here in the Brittle Steel and Iceveil Archer. Here we have another 1-drop. I'm not like real keen on these Legion Saboteurs, and we're already that's kind of the same problems with the Grenadier, right? There's so many 1-drops that just trade for them. I think this plays more towards just pure aggressive decks, which we aren't quite there. I'm going to take this Combat Trick stack. These Iceveil Archers and Brittle Steel also, we only have the one Stalking Wolf, but these play extremely well with the 2-cross Challenger. Then there's the 3-cough Challenger that kills 0 power units. Here, cool with this. I am looking for more of these Trifarians, a very good guy. We're kind of okay on the early game combat tricks now. We have 3, so this isn't real high priority. And these are what plays well with the, what are they called? The Reavers. Guys like Crimson Aristocrat just kind of guarantee. This can be okay in our deck, but I think these units over here are just going to be a little bit stronger. I'm not really looking to stack up on Take Hearts. Lots of Whirling Deaths. Do we have one? It's a good way to get some interaction. This is also kind of a reasonable pile. Entreat, we don't really need in this deck. I like Entreat more if we have like, if we had, instead of this being a Draven or Darius Tryndamere deck where you don't really want them until later in the game. I like Entreat more if we're say playing like if this was say Draven Ash. But I'm going to take these Whirling Deaths. They play pretty well with our kind of overstated units, and then also you can take advantage of the block with our Overwhelm units. And so typically you only get to play this mid-combat. They block something, you Whirling Death it, and your unit doesn't do any damage, but the Overwhelms still do the damage. Let's see, another rear guard. How many shield breakers do we have? Do we have 2 or 3? Or 2? 1 or 2? We just have the 1, so that would make a second. We already have 2 rear guards. I'm really kind of looking to this pack. We are picking up quite a few spells. and so the Seer can get some value, and this Awakener is just so overstated. I think he's going to be able to get in combat quite a bit. I'm going to take this Seer and Awakener. Here, got a couple 2-drops. I'm happy to take both. And our swap. I want to keep this Crimson Awakener. What is Reckoning? I don't think our deck is really built to take advantage of this. These are interesting. I don't quite want Transfusion. Again, these are more like cards if you're in Braum and Vladimir. And so they don't play extremely well. I just kind of want to stick with this aggressive unit. I think I will get rid of the Reaver. I don't really have combos with him. And so I feel like a lot of the time he's just going to sit there. And we might be able to get some good Reckonings. I'm not super jazzed about having Reckoning, but it should be powerful enough. Much better than just that 0-3. Alright, let's see the Karma Heimerdinger elusives. Supposed to be in the spells deck, just ended up with a bunch of elusives. Alright, this is pretty powerful hand. Five stats for 1 and 7 stats for 2 is just so much efficiency for your mana.
I can learn from watching you.
Sure. Sparring Student doesn't seem like a card that plays well in the spell theme. Okay, let's see how awkward this gets. I have to assume that he's going to play a unit and trade the Sparring Student with the Hopeful. I guess we can technically just not attack with this. Oh, if it gets like a Mystic Shot or something, yeah, that's more than fun.
I'll do better this time.
And we'll likely continue to play on curve. It's not like we can block, so we don't really need these spells on our turn. And then on the follow-up turn, we can play the Hopeful with access to both spells. Sure.
And punch.
Nothing can stop me.
And I think though we might just attack here. I don't really want to have to spend a spell if we don't have to. And we don't have great defensive options here. Like Brittle Steel is okay. But I don't want to play this. He plays a unit, then we have to spend a spell to protect this, and he gets the free trade on the rear guard. I'm just going to go ahead and attack. This combo here could be kind of interesting. Recall, sure. I was trying to think if we kind of wanted to save up to 3 spell mana to just try to get the Overwhelm blowout, but I don't think that's going to happen. We're really just looking to have 1 spell mana banked up.
Look out!
Sure. We'll just continue our onslaught of giant dudes.
We are forged in war.
We can play the Reaver on our turn, then have access to both spells.
Tremble before the winter's claw!
Sure, we can battle with that just fine.
I've always been a fun guy.
I'll do better this time.
Oh, you're in for it.
And then do we want to just play all of our spells here? Well, I guess he's going to do something. Okay. I think so. We're okay with this trade. We can definitely frostbite this to save our giant dude and then take down his contraption. Pretty good spot. I have to imagine we'll be able to get a blowout with a Battle Fury on our next attack. Seems good, right? I mean, just playing 3 dudes. We'll have enough mana naturally to play Battle Fury. This doesn't seem like the kind of guy he wants in this spot.
I stand for Noxus.
They won't get past me.
Okay. Imagine this has to be a win even without the Battle Fury here. Okay. Off to a better start than with the elites. Let's see, there's another Darius with some good aggressive cards. I don't think we really want to stack up on the Tryndameres here. The one Tryndamere is enough. We have one Take Heart. Stalking Wolf is good, but I think the like when we look at it, like Darius and Tryndamere are gonna do the same thing. Darius should flip whenever we play it, and he's cheaper. I have to imagine Darius is just going to get in a lot, and then we're kind of the Hopeful is worse than the Stalking Wolf, but the Trifarian's so much better than Take Heart given our current deck. Vladimir, these cards are fine, but we have the one shield thing. I wouldn't be upset if we had another big piece of top end flipping. We're about to pick up a Darius. I'm just going to take this aggressive stack. Okay, Articuno and Heimerdinger. This should be another controlling deck.
The sunbrock got me
Oh, did not expect to see that. Okay. What do we want to do here? Because we're not going to we don't really want to get these 2-drops online. I'm just going to lead with the Hawk. I can, threaten the block here, which is fine. I want to get him off the board because he's kind of a problem with just kind of, that if it's a 1-1 we could be more aggressive into it, but we just kind of got our value out of the Hawk already. Really, we're looking to challenge down the Hare here and then just play a bunch of dudes on his turn and hopefully take down his biggest unit with the follow-up attack. Drawing all this top end kind of sucks.
Can't afford to miss.
This is why we kind of wanted to really stay away from the 5 drops
Who
and
goes
draws
there?
like this.
Tell me where to aim.
Where's my axe?
Okay, we'll come in with everything. I kind of considered making this block
How can I help? Wow.
in case, you know, we drew like a 3 toughness unit, but he's gonna get his choice of the cream of the crop here, and that's kind of okay. We aren't being a very good aggressive deck this game. We drew too much top end. Like passing turn 4 with 2 mana up is just not what you want to be doing with an aggressive deck. We need to be spending all our mana every single turn. Ugh, yeah. Reaver at least combats this pretty well. Should shut down the aggressive. I guess not. So how scary is that? Assume that. I think he's just probably trying to get in with everything. I don't think we have the choice to be cute. I think we just have to stop what he's doing.
Only a scratch.
Like if he has a combat trick there, we'd have probably lost the game anyway. So there's not much difference in putting the Reaver in front of one of these to try to play around Mystic Shot. We just, you know, we have to be getting a little lucky to pull this out here. But depending on how this goes, we might be looking to try and win with a Battle Fury on our next attack and just steal the game. Pretty good getting value attacks across the board. Sure. Card disadvantage. I think we... Okay, we can... No, we can't survive this if we just open attacks. Is that slow? Dang. Doing stuff, giving us a chance. Oh yeah, we're dead. We're dead. Dead as it gets. Oh. 4 or less power. Okay. Can only block 3, we're gonna take 12. See if he tries to get cute. Not a huge fan of this Delmix deck getting a thing. It's like the deck either like doesn't come together and it's just like a complete pile of shit, or it does come together and you're just like, oh, you know, here's 30 stats of cards on turn 5. Like it's just not something I think is healthy. But at any rate, let's see. I want to keep my Open Hawks and the Brittle Steels. I'm not really trying to make my deck more expensive. It would be kind of cool with this Babbling Bjerg over the Awakener, because kind of, you know, at this point we're statted well enough that well, I don't know. I don't think we're really just looking for the value. But yeah, the Bjerg is just, I think, gonna play better than this Awakener. It's reasonably statted for combat, and it's just gonna draw something huge. So that should be okay. Okay. Really kind of wanting a 1-drop here. This isn't good. I mean, it's statted fine, but we have a 2, and he's not as great unless he's getting boosted from the start. And we're wanting to keep this Brittle Steel. I want to get rid of him and look for a cheaper play, which we Did not find.
I have my orders. They'll never see it coming.
Sure. Let's get the Sierra online. As the board stands, we should be able to get reasonable blocks. And then, I mean, we're really just going to be playing this Grenadier and attacking with both. I'm not quite sure the ordering there matters.
Fuse is lit!
Kind of sucks, like he's never blocking with this. We should be able to brittle steel this down next turn.
No greater gift than knowledge.
It's kind of awkward with him. So let's just get the seer in. If we have to spend the brittle steel, that's fine. I'm willing to trade any of my units for this thing. And then we're really gonna just have to be the control deck this game. You might be able to get pretty good value out of this Reckoning. Very easy to see that, you know, playing a turn 5 giant dude, turn 6 Reckoning should be powerful against what he's doing.
Tea to gain the strength of rivers.
Reporting in?
There's always a way out.
Sure. We do have 3 of the thing that attacks a battling ally, so we at least have some answers to the Conspirator. That's likely going to be a bit of a problem. So yeah, I think we're just going to have to Reckoning next turn. We need to get, I guess we could do it this turn. We'd get to keep this, then we would lose everything else. That seems awful. So let's do this. We can get you in. I'm curious if I can attack with the Starlit Seer and he tries to value block. This should be a pretty high value unit. I don't think he would do that with, but I think I just want to kind of keep the blockers back. I think we're going to get a really good Reckoning next turn. Sure. Makes our Reckoning better.
You'll soon understand my methods.
He has to have something that's pretty well boosted. Right, if this only has 1 stat on it, he's played 2 Elders, and then
dangerous lad.
I don't know if we can beat that. We really need to draw the Whirling Death or whatever it's called to hit battling allies or battling attackers. Question is, do we want to Reckoning now while he's tapped out? Which I think we likely do. He has so many ways that can make this go wrong. If he gets to untap, at least against just the Lifeblade, we have, you know, maybe 3 turns. Probably not 3 turns, but it's a possibility.
Worthy It shall rain ash in our wake.
His isn't super scary. We can just block with ours. These don't have overwhelm. And we just probably need to get our big unit online as well.
We are forged in war.
We really need to draw Whirling Death. I don't know why Deck Tracker isn't up here. We have 3 of them. Let me see if I can get it to pop up. Alright, so there's the Whirling Death. Which makes me feel a little bit better. Although we can't really... We're gonna have to get him to block with this if we want to Whirling Death it.
I stand for Noxus.
But I think it still looks pretty believable when we attack with these 3 units.
Chase them down.
I sense fear.
Okay, let's see how poorly this goes. Battling ally, battling enemy. We just get blown out by a number of cards here. But I mean, we don't have a 7-power unit. This is the only opportunity we're going to get to hit this. Deny or recall or something? Yeah. If. Okay, so we need to draw something juicy. That's not juicy. Yep, that was a frustrating one. So our deck, this deck, it's like we just ended up with just a little bit too much top end, or if we didn't have too much top end, then you know, we just kind of had awkward draws. I feel like the deck should have been a little bit better than a 1-winner. Oh. Let's claim these dope 2-win rewards. Jump into another one. What do we get? Thresh. Alrighty, well there was expedition number 13. Not that exciting, but I mean, we kind of learned quite a bit in the deck building there. The deck came together a little awkward. I wish we had a way to review the deck after the thing ends so I could talk about it just a little bit, but it seemed like, I mean, in that game 3 we definitely, like, we drew 3 cards that cost like 6 or more. We drew very expensive things. I just can't tell at what point, you know, how much top end do you want. Maybe we should just, you know, ignore everything that costs 5 or more. Assume that we're going to pick it up at some point, but never try to take, you know, basically any unit, probably any unit that costs more than 3, you really just want to direly avoid. But these decks are kind of awkward though as well when you just don't have any way to interact with elusives. So I don't know. I'll have to draft it a few more times and see if I can't get a little bit better with it. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I thank you much.